Apologies for that loss of connection. We do seem to be having a few internet issues, but hopefully everything will hold up for now. Back here at the One Hub, Season 15 in the Podium tier. It is round 2 at the French Grand Prix. There's been a lot of pit stops during that interruption. Eva Hannon, race leader, pitted. He has been in, as has Jonas Albrecht and Astronauta, so that gap has stayed around the same at the moment. The new leader of the race, though, is Aaron, but might not be for very long. He's got Kingan all over the back of him. That Williams taking advantage of the damage on that Ferrari, and Kingan finally moves up into the lead of this race. But Aaron is definitely giving it all it is worth to try and have a go back at the Williams. Is going to be on the outside for turn 10. This would be a very brave move from the Ferrari, but he's not able to hold it all the way around the outside, and Kingan for now takes the lead of this race as Ibahanen is trying to fight his way back through the traffic now that he's pitted. He's got past the McLaren of Truth NRP to get into 6th place, and we still have all 19 runners at the moment in this French Grand Prix.
Yeah, a lot of pit stops has been made while we were trying to sort the stream, and your Wi-Fi decided it had enough for a second. But we're back now, and Ibahanen not far off indecisive. I think that's how you say his name, or I'm sure. But he's not far off 5th place. Alex Lillier running in 4th at the moment. Jess still running in 16th, it looks like, with Gaza right on her tail at the moment, so keep an eye on those two for a bit. We've also got Truth NRP and Astronauti, who are very close to Jonas as well.
Yeah, you'd expect Astronauti to make short work of Truth. He is on a much fresher tyres. You can see there Truth running wide out of 6. Astronauti will be able to go much better line through turn 7. Open the DRS on that Mercedes. This should be a straightforward pass for Astronauti. He needed to get that pass done as soon as possible. He doesn't want to lose too much time to Ibahanen and Jonas Albrecht. Ibahanen now in 5th place. Jonas in 7th. All over the back of the Williams of indecisive Mark. He's got more grip. He should find it nice and easy around the outside there of turn 10. And that is the McLaren back up into 6th place. Got to say though, Aaron is doing a great job considering the damage that he's got on that Ferrari.
Yeah, Aaron's just... I don't think the damage just put him off that much. I think he's just doing his best, cruising around, keeping close enough to that Williams to stay within the DRS so he can possibly get an undercut on Kingan in front, because I think he might need it if he's wanting to get his front wing fixed as well, as he looks to be suffering from a little bit of understeer through the first 2 corners, as it looked like Jonas just set the fastest lap of the race on his brand new medium tyres, who's closing up on Ibahanen and Alex Lillier in 5th and 4th respectively.
Yeah, these are obviously battling for position. You'd expect Ibahanen to get past Alex, but there's no reason for the Racing Point to let Ibahanen by, and this is just going to allow Jonas to close up. Both the Mercedes and the McLaren are going to have DRS here. Now this is going to be the best chance Jonas has had. DRS open on that McLaren. You can see him closing on Ibahanen. Is the Mercedes going to go defensive into the chicane? He is not. Jonas tries to put it down the inside, but Ibahanen's got the inside for the next point. That will have compromised his line slightly though, and can the McLaren just get a bit of an overlap on the Mercedes here? Going to be side by side coming through Cygnus, turn 10, both trying to hold off. No contact between the two of them. Is Ibahanen going to come out ahead, or is it going to be Jonas? They're still going side by side through turn 11, and in the end it's Jonas who has taken the position. Brilliant overtake from the McLaren, and that can happen if you just catch the traffic at the wrong point, as Ibahanen did with Alex, who lost about a second to Jonas, and that was all the invite that the McLaren driver needed. He will now move into 3rd now that Catboy Key has pitted, but it is the net race lead, of course. Kingan and Aaron still yet to pit.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, traffic can be a major player in the outcome of each race. But also appears to be brightening up a bit. The sun is coming out now, so I'm not sure what's happening with the rain that's meant to be coming, if it'll come near the end or what. But Riley just set the fastest lap of the race on the soft tyres, so he's going on a different strategy to everyone else, bar TC, who's out on the hards at the moment, so...
Yeah, interesting to see Riley's gone for those soft tyres, because if the forecast is accurate and rain is expected towards the end, that's why we're seeing most of the drivers on the mediums that have pitted early on to try and stretch them towards near the end of the race. But Riley's clearly just going for pace at the moment. He's in the DRS of his teammate, who provides no resistance at all to promote Riley now into the point, and he set the fastest lap of the race. That could be hard to beat if the rain does come later on when these cars are light on fuel. Also, maybe the Alfa Romeo driver will get himself a pointy. He's in 10th place at the moment now. Kingan still leading the race, but with him and Aaron still yet to pit. Jonas in 3rd place, looking pretty good, and Astronauty as well, fairly close behind his teammate.
Yeah, I think Eva Hannon definitely been put off slightly by the traffic of the racing point about Swilliard, so it's cost him quite a bit, but he's going to have the foot hard down now, and the Finn in the Mercedes, with this combination, I think he could definitely catch Jonas. He seemed to have the pace to catch Jonas in qualifying, but whether that will transfer through to the race at this point, I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and find out. Astronaut also patiently waiting behind to see what happens, just over a second behind the two of them, as just Chris is now catching up to Alex Williard and should have a pretty easy move as he goes to the left, down the straight, sweeping past the racing point, getting it done into the chicane, as Nicky also gets past Alex Williard as well for diving into the chicane. So Alex Williard dropping 2 places in the span of a couple of 100 metres there, so whether his tyres might be starting to go off now considering they're 10 laps old, I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, there's only 3 drivers now who haven't pitted. That is Aaron, Alex and Schumacher. Kingan has just come into the pit and got himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so he will have to serve that at his next stop. A nightmare for Kingan, because they were looking good for a good result. And I must say, Nicky has done well after having to pit early on those medium tyres. Up into 7th place, DRS open on that Renault. Will he be close enough to have a dive on Chris into turn 1? Not this time, but maybe later on down the main straight into the 2nd DRS zone. Aaron now leading the race by 11 seconds from Jonas, Eva Hannon and Astronauty. Won lap 12 out of 27. Still 19 runners, which is great to see. Are we daring to call who we think might be on the podium at the moment? Because Aaron's done a very good job with a damaged car.
I think it might be a bit risky to predict it now, but I definitely think Jonas and Eva Hannon will definitely be on that podium. I'm not sure who will take the 3rd spot on the podium. It could be Aaron, possibly, depending on how well his next stint goes. We'll just have to keep our eyes open as to what goes on in the next 10 or so laps, because that is really what's going to define this race and who finishes where.
Yeah, especially if that ever rain does come. Aaron is now in the pit, so the battle you're watching on screen has become the battle for the lead between Jonas and Eva Hannon. They have dropped Astronauty slightly, who's a bit more on his own at the moment. Still got a good gap to Chris behind though of around 4 seconds. So let's see where the Ferrari comes out of the pits on the soft tyres. Perhaps unsurprising after starting on those mediums. Will he come out ahead of Kingan? No, the undercut has worked brilliantly for the Williams, and in fact Aaron has lost a chunk of time there, down in 12th place. I'm not sure if he had a penalty or he made a mistake somewhere. He's definitely got a penalty now, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but he's come out 7 seconds behind Kingan, and he was only just behind him coming into that pit stop.
Maybe the damage has took its toll on Aaron. It's just cost him a bit of time each lap, plus the front wing change would have had to do as well, but considering he had damage to his wing. So that could have also played a part in him being so far behind Kingan as well.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what he can do now that he's on those soft tyres. It's only him and Riley that are on them at the moment. As we've now seen, Nicky has got past Chris into turn 10. Is the Red Bull able to fight back? No, not this time round. That is a good job from Nicky, I should say, on 11-lap old medium tyres. So the Renault putting in a great performance once again, was driver of the day last time around. But Jonas still in the lead of this race at the moment. Everyone has made one pit stop now, as actually Chris is coming into the pits once again. So I wonder if that Red Bull has got damage, because that's incredibly early for a second pit stop.
I will keep an eye out for you as he's in the box now. Doesn't look like he's got wing damage. No front wing change was made to the Red Bull, so maybe he's just having a quick maybe he's just changing the strategy up a bit.
Yeah, maybe, like you said, a few of these drivers might have seen the sky and no longer think rain is coming, so he's decided to put the soft tyres on. It's going to be a big ask to get them to last until the end of the race, and maybe another pit stop needed for the Red Bull. That is putting him out in 13th place. Ivahanen, though, out in front, closing ever more on Jonas, but not able to do anything about them at the moment at this halfway stage. Ivahanen looks to have got used to these medium tyres now, and he's looking a big threat to that McLaren. Just can't get close enough where it matters to get the overtake done. Another battle to maybe watch out on is Kingan and Riley for 5th and 6th position, though Riley's soft tyres will be beginning to wear now, of course.
Yeah, the soft tyres are definitely going to start going off, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to stick on the back of that Williams for too long, as Kingan looks to be pulling away more and more at each corner as Riley makes a mistake into the left-hander there, having to correct the rear of the car, and he's going to come in now, probably for the medium tyres, I imagine.
Yeah, Aaron on his soft tyres, he's slowly starting to make his way up. He's got past Rich and he's right behind the other Alfa Romeo of Dexter at the moment. Aaron in 7th position now, and there you can see fastest lap of the race. I don't think he's going to be hanging around in 7th for long. DRS open, tried to go down the inside of Dexter, just a bit too far behind, compromised his entry into turn 1, but you can see already he seems to just have escaped from Rich. You also see Gazzaman, he's headed into the pits, putting those medium tyres. So I'm beginning to think that you might be right, Liam, and that rain might not be coming, or that they think when it does come, they might be worth just sticking it out on the dry tyres anyway. As we see Aaron right underneath the rear wing of that Alfa Romeo, opening the DRS, should get this move done long before they hit the braking zone for the Mistral chicane, and that is the Ferrari. It was 12th when he came out of the pits, already up into 6th position. Yeah,
it's just showing how quick he is without that front wing damage and how much it's hindered him, and now he's got on the fresh softness. He's going to make the absolute most of it and he's flying around this track at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on how quickly he can catch Kingan in front of him. Elsewhere we've got Ivahanen, who's still trying to get past Jonas for the lead of the race. He's only 5 tenths behind now, but I don't think he's close enough to have a go at the turn 1 match, and he'll wait for the main straight here.
Yeah, he's definitely looking a bit more racy over these last few laps. Astronaut is keeping that gap at around about 2 seconds as well, but Jonas is doing a good job through the final corner. It's just whether Ivahanen can get close enough, like you said, coming out of turn 5 and 6, and again that McLaren seems to have good traction. Ivahanen being compromised slightly by the dirty air.
Yeah, Jonas is definitely getting the better of the runs off of the right-hander between at turn 6. It's definitely helping him get away from Mercedes down the straight, so you can keep a hold of that lead. But I don't think it'll work. It'll work forever though, as Eva Hannon's going to find a way to get close enough to that McLaren to find a way past.
Yeah, Jonas does have the slightly fresher tyres of these guys. As you can see, Jonas on 9, Eva Hannon on 10, Astronauty on 11. Nicky in 4th place has done 14 laps on those mediums, so expect to see him coming soon for what I believe will be another set of the medium tyres to possibly finish this race as long as things stay dry. We'll look down the further reaches of the points. Chris now in 9th place on his fresh soft tyres. Riley came back out in 11th. Gaza 13th. Lee Hoffner 15th after their pit stop. So we'll just run through to see who's done 2 stops. You can see there Chris, Riley, Gaza and Lee Hoffner all nice and safe from getting themselves disqualified from this race at the moment. And a few of the drivers in the pre-race interviews that they all did say the 2-stop strategies understandably allowed you to be a bit more aggressive, as you don't have to worry as much about tyre life.
Yeah, if we look at if we look at some of the back markers, it's definitely not been a great race for Schumacher, who's in the pits again. I'm not even sure if he's still racing at this point, or if it's his AI. But he's in again, this time for the hards. He's over almost a minute behind Jess, who's not had the greatest of races in 18th, after getting that singular point for Racing Point last time out. She's definitely going to be a bit disappointed this week, but knowing her, she's going to definitely take it on the chin and bounce back next week.
Yeah, did manage to get the fastest point for those outside of the top 10 last time around, so whether we'll see her diving onto a fresh set of soft tyres to try and secure that again for the Racing Point team, despite her obviously showing in a Toro Rosso because of the connection issues she's had. We'll have to wait and see. But Schumacher's team boss has gladly told us that there is rain expected in 15 minutes. That's going to put it round about lap 25 or lap 26, so I don't think there'll be any need to go onto the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why people have kind of abandoned the strategy of staying out until the rain, because by the time the rain comes, it's not going to be heavy enough for the Inter to really need to switch onto the Inters, and there's not going to be enough time to either. So it won't benefit anybody who goes onto the intermediate tyres, really.
Yeah, it won't be really enough time to gain that advantage. Jonas, he just got a bit sideways there coming out of turn 5. I think this is the best chance Eva Hannon has had, but it would still had to have been a Ricciardo-esque lunge into the chicane, and wisely thinking better of it. Championship leader at the moment, obviously in very early stages, getting the win and the fastest lap last time around, and another second place here would put him in a good slot to get his hands on one of the trophies that One Hub give out, and his choice of next level racing wheel stand. Still 9 and a bit laps remaining. He's all over the back of the McLaren at the moment. These two battling for the lead. Astronauty may have to start paying a bit more attention to Nicky behind, who you'd expect to be coming in soon. I imagine they're all just trying to stretch it out now so they can do their final stint on those soft tyres.
Yeah, I imagine so. They'll keep... Most of them will stay out until lap 20-21, giving them a 6-lap period to absolutely belt around the track on the softer tyres. But bear in mind, the rain will come around 25-26, so they'll give them realistically about 3 or 4 laps of pushing flat out, and then the last couple of laps will probably take it down a notch and just conserve through the little bit of rain until the checkered flag.
Yes, Jonas again looking good coming out of turn 5 and 6. Battle further down in the points now between Dexter and Rich for 7th and 8th place. This looks like it could be a battle all the way to the flag, which picked up a few points last time out, and he's looking good for doing it again in the Toro Rosso. Sole Toro Rosso, as Mr. Stim couldn't make it tonight. He's got DRS, but again, he's also too far behind. Dexter has indecisive Mark, who I think described this circuit as a bit like a car park. He does seem to be struggling in that Williams, down in 17th at the moment. TC 13th in the other Renault, himself and Nicky having to pit early on, and while Nicky's been able to recover, I think TC on those harder tyres, he'll have been hoping that the rain came a bit earlier so he could have ditched them, because things not really going too well for him at the moment.
Yeah, Ashley is now into the pits, so he's coming a bit earlier than scheduled for probably the soft tyres. Now he's coming in for the mediums actually, so he's going to go back out on a set of mediums. Maybe all his softs are worn, so instead of going with one soft, he's going to try his luck with a fresh set of mediums to try and catch Jonas with the undercut.
See where he comes out. Chris pitted on his set of soft tyres only after 5 laps, so that's a third pit stop for the Red Bull driver. Though thankfully for Astronaut here, that's given him a bit of free air. So he is now in 8th place. He's trying the undercut. It helped Jonas get a bit closer to him last time around, but can he lap? As we see now, Ivahanen, he has actually got past Jonas, so those tyres wearing on the McLaren. Jonas has been passed by Ivahanen, and he's trying to fight back now, down in the second half of this Mistral straight. Has he got enough of his car alongside to force Ivahanen to give him room? He has done. The last time these two cars were side by side like this, it was the McLaren who came out on top, but Ivahanen sweeping around the outside. He's got the inside line for the next corner. Great racing from the two of them, and this time it's Ivahanen who comes out on top. Just a bit of a tap maybe on that Mercedes from the McLaren, but no damage done. And we said he was looking racier as the tyres got older. That proves to have been the case. Ivahanen retakes the lead, and when they cross the line, there'll be 7 laps remaining as Nicky dives into the pit lane and perhaps a bit too keen, getting himself a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times today. Drivers being a bit too eager when coming into the pits. Maybe it's just a new pit entry catching people out a bit. I'm not too sure, because they did have to change it after, considering the pit entry was in a bit of a dodgy spot as you came out of the final corner. It was quite the tight turn to get into the pits previously.
Yeah, especially if someone was trying to just slip one down your inside at the last corner. It was very difficult to do. We had quite a few drivers pit on that lap. Aaron putting the softs on. Rich also going for the softs. TC13, I imagine he'll be going for the softs. So now we are seeing these drivers come for their second and what will prove to be final pit stops at the French Grand Prix. The two leaders, though, still going at it. Ivahanen and Jonas. This could very well be a battle of the pit stop crews as they're coming up to lap Schumacher for the second time now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to come down to that pit stop, and if anybody makes the slightest mistake, it could cost them in this race between the two of them. But also keep an eye on Astronauti, who's just came out on his fresh medium tyres a lap ago, but he's already got Nicky behind him on those fresh soft tyres, so Nicky could be in the contention for the race on those fresh soft tyres, so we'll keep an eye on Nicky as well, because it could throw a spanner in the works possibly.
Yeah, Nicky obviously wanting to make up for that speeding in the pit lane penalty, because that will get added on at the end of the race. Up into 5th position now as the two leaders have come into the pits, Jonas and Ivahanen. Ivahanen out on the soft tyres. Jonas also putting these soft tyres on, but coming out behind the Mercedes, so that puts Kingan into the lead of this race. But where are Nicky and Astronauti going to be in this? You can see the Renault heading down the straight now, and the Renault has split the McLaren, and Astronaut is up there as well, so Jonas losing 2 places in that pit stop phase.
Yeah, the people, Nicky and Astronaut is showing just how powerful the undercut can be around France if you make it work. So Ivahanen's going to have to work for it now, being on cold softs, and Nicky being on the fresh rubbered and soft tyres right behind him. So we could possibly have a 4-way scrap for the race win here.
Yeah, DRS is open on that Renault and it is closing at a fantastic rate of knots on that Mercedes. That Renault has got supreme straight line speed. Is he able to hold it round the outside at the second part of the chicane? Great overtake by Nicky. I thought he was way too far back. Is Eva Hannon going to be able to use the slipstream? But you can see he's not really catching up to Nicky, who might even be in the DRS range of Dexter next time around. So Nicky taking the net race lead at the moment. Can he get far enough ahead though after penalties to take the victory in this race? Because once again that could prove to be the crucial thing. Eva Hannon in fourth at the moment as Kingan comes into the pits looking extremely racy. Dexter coming in as well. That makes this the battle for the lead. I think Eva Hannon wants to get this done out on track, not relying on penalties in case he picks up any towards the end of the race. 5 laps remaining. Nicky setting the fastest lap, and who's going to win here tonight is anyone's guess.
Yeah, Nicky got the DRS off of the slower cars in front, and has also set up the cars to be an absolute rocket ship down the straight. So Eva Hannon might have a tougher time getting past than he did with Jonas down the straight, probably, if he isn't close enough when he has the DRS, and doesn't risk it too much in case he picks up a penalty here and there. With Nicky getting a decent run out of turn 6 and 7, but Eva Hannon going to be a bit too close down the straight, is he? As TC sets a fastest lap, Eva Hannon's going to go sweep to the right, into turn, the chicane, going to sweep right round the outside and get the move done. Move from Eva Hannon, the Mercedes driver retakes the lead of the Grand Prix off of the Renault driver of Nicky.
Yeah, great overtake by Eva Hannon there, retaking the lead as Jonas has actually got past Astronaut. That Mercedes has gone very wide. Didn't quite see what happened there, if there was any contact that forced that, but the McLaren been in a podium place most of the race, wants to get that as now, as we see Eva Hannon getting a penalty for multiple warnings. I might just have a quick check now and see what the penalty situation is between these lead cars. Eva Hannon has that 1 3-second penalty. Nicky has got 3 penalties, and I know at least one of them's 5 seconds. Jonas also with a 3-second penalty, and Astronauty has kept it clean so far with only 1 warning. So Mercedes looking good to win this race out on track, but it might be the one in 4th place at the moment who takes it after penalties. We'll have to wait and see and get our abacus out, I think, to work out who's going to win here tonight.
I'll give you that check now. Jonas does have a penalty. He got it on lap 6 for a warning. Nicky has a 3-second. Nicky has 3 penalties, so I think we can count Nicky attention here. Eva Hannon also has a penalty, so depending on how close Astronaut can get here, he could possibly take the win on penalties.
Liam, just while you're there, we've had a request here. Can you check the race director for a few other drivers? We've got P10 and P7, so that'll be Lee Hoffner and Aaron, to see how they're doing. Although I don't think Aaron's going to be in P7 for long, as he gets down the inside of Gazaman to take 6th position.
Aaron does have 2 penalties, and Lee Hoffner has 2 warnings. So Lee Hoffner is the penalty right now, so he's going to have to be careful. Aaron already has 2 penalties, so depending if he can pull this gap out now, I don't imagine he'll be keeping his P6 today.
Yeah, he's on those soft tyres though, and Riley ahead of him and Gazaman behind on mediums at the moment, so he's definitely got a chance to try and pull out the gap. Still, Catboy Key and Alex Lilliard yet to pit. Hopefully they haven't forgot, because they've only got to have another 1 or 2 opportunities, and it will be an instant disqualification. They won't see it in the results, but they'll have no chance in the stewards. And I think it is starting to rain now out on the circuit. Lap 25, about when we called it.
Yeah, we definitely called it. The question is now, who's going to be able to hold it in the rain and just hang on long enough to take that victory? The question is, can Eva Hannon, Nicky and Jonas get far enough away from Astronauti that he doesn't take the win on penalties?
Eva Hannon has got the gap above 3 seconds at the moment, because of course Astronaut, he's on harder tyres, so they may be more prone to lose temperature because of the water out on circuit, and harder anyway. Even in the dry they're going to be slower, obviously. So Astronaut, I think, has just got to try and keep as close as possible to Jonas to maybe salvage a podium here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be tricky because those soft tyres do go off a lot quicker than the mediums, so depending on how worn those guys' tyres are, it could determine who wins this race.
Yeah, they are now onto the penultimate lap. We've got yellow flags in sector 3, so I'm not sure if that was... We've just seen Chris lose a position, so not sure if he's gone off track. Maybe we are seeing a few people struggle with tyres. Schumacher comes into the pits. Catboy Key has dived into the pits. Maybe worth just putting the intermediates on, seeing as he pitted this late on. So now it's just Alex in 15th who has yet to do the 2 stops, and indeed the racing points does come in now. So it's Eva Hannon, Nicky and Jonas for top 3.
Jonas has got the gap to about 4. No, Jonas is about 2.5 seconds behind Nicky at the moment. So with Astronaut just under a second behind. So the overall gap to the leader from Astronaut is about 4 seconds. Nick's gap not Nick 2 laps. Hold on.
Yeah, I think what you said about the soft tyres is starting to come true, because Gazzaman has now got ahead of Aaron, so maybe Aaron was one of the first people to put these softs on for the final stint, maybe now starting to struggle, and we are seeing a few more yellow flags. That is to be expected with the weather as it is. It's starting to rain now, but Eva Hannon starting his final lap of the race, 7/10 ahead of Nicky. DRS has still been enabled, and Liam, oh, that is such a bad time for you to leave.
I know, I'm turning back.
Fingers crossed I can hang on for another 1.5 minutes, because I don't want you guys to miss this action. Eva Hannon looking good to take a 2nd win in a row. DRS is still enabled, so it's still clearly fairly dry at the moment, as Aaron light on the brakes, diving down to try and have a go at Gazzaman. He's not able to do anything, so maybe 7th place on track is the best Aaron can do. Kingan not too far back behind either. Got more yellow flags in sector 2 and sector 3. Not sure if that's just
I'm back in now. I'm back in.
You're back in. Well, everyone is still staying on track at the moment, thankfully, but Eva Hannon only got a few corners to go to make it 2 wins out of 2 in the Mercedes, but he's low on fuel, low on tyre life as well on those softs, and he's going to be low on grip with the track as it is. Any mistake now could be fatal around this final part of the circuit. It's looking like he's far enough ahead of everyone. Astronaut is dropping back slightly on those mediums, but if he stays close enough to Jonas, we might still get a 1-2 here for Mercedes. It is going to be fairly close, but Eva Hannon, pole position again, had to work a bit harder for this one than he did last time out, and the Mercedes driver crosses the finish line now to take victory in race 2 here. Nicky is getting demoted down. Can Astronaut get 2nd place?
Yes,
he has
can.
done. 1-2 for the Mercedes team. A great job from them today.
Yeah, I think Astronaut was a little bit unlucky. He wasn't able to keep up that little bit more to Eva Hannon. But fair play to Eva Hannon. He's worked his socks off today to bring home that race win for Mercedes. His 2nd in a row. Leading the 1-2 for Mercedes. So a bit like real life here. We've got a Mercedes 1-2.
Yeah, and I believe that is, I'm sure Astronaut mentioned it last week, that every time he's been at one hub, his teammate has won a race. So I think Eva Hannon's happy that he keeps turning up. The other results, Riley 5th, Gazzaman 6th, Lee Hoffner 7th, Kingan 8th, Aaron in 9th, Dexter rounding out the points in the end. Just look, you can see Eva Hannon's got the fastest lap, and I think TC13 looks as though he's going to get the points for the fastest lap for outside the top 10. So although the Renault drivers both had to pit early on, one of them's finished in 4th place and one of them's going to sneak a point for the fastest lap. So not a bad result for the Renault team in the end.
Yeah, a bit disappointing from Nicky's point of view, having been caught up in an incident on the first couple of laps, being forced to pit. But a great recovery drive nonetheless. So fair play to Renault, bringing home some solid points for the team.
Yeah, Schumacher, their final cars come across the line. 19th out of 19 finishers, but it's good progress from Schumacher. He's got to the end of this race, and we saw a few drivers last season struggling a bit earlier on once they joined, so never know what kind of pace he'll do later on. But there is a familiar sight in Formula 1. It's a Mercedes 1-2. It's a finish 1-2 as well. Ivar Hanen delighted with victory, and a 3rd place for Jonas Ulbricht, showing that pace that we all know. So the provisional results then from the one hub podium tier: 1-2 for the Mercedes, Ivar Hanen and Astronauti. Jonas started 3rd, finished 3rd, but came close to the victory today. Nicky, that speeding penalty in the pit lane and a corner cutting penalty early on, costing him 4th. Maybe he'll appeal it in the stewards. Riley buys 5th position, Gaza 6th, Lee Hoffner 7th, Kingan, Aaron and Dexter rounding out the points. Rich finishing just outside in the end in P11. 3 pit stops costing Chris in the end. The second Red Bull finishing in 12th, TC 13th, and picking up that point for fastest lap. Truth 14th, Catboy Key 15th, Alex Williot 16th, Indecisive Max 17th, Jess 18th and Schumacher 19th. Out of 19 and all the runners today. So Liam, driver of the day.
I'm going to go with Nicky after being caught up in an incident on the first couple of laps. I'm putting on such an amazing comeback drive to finish 4th, only on penalties though. I'm going to go with Nicky as my driver of the day.
Well, I'm going to go for someone else who did a great comeback drive, actually. Riley also got involved in that at the start. Didn't have to pit, I don't believe, but qualified 4th, went all the way back down to the field, ended up getting in 5th place. So that is my driver of the day. Obviously, there were so many other great drives as well. Ivar Hanen, Astronauti, Jonas getting on the podium, but we've both gone for some comeback kings tonight. So Nicky or Riley, who are you guys going to vote for? You will have a chance to vote on Twitter. I believe the driver of the day votes do start tomorrow. But Ivar Hanen, already, if I was next level racing, if it keeps this pace off, if I was Nick, I'd get that order in for Ivar Hanen already to make sure it gets there in time, because 2 pole positions, 2 wins, just looking so good at the moment.
You never know what will happen over the course of the season, Luke. You got to be prepared for anything in F1, especially in league racing. It's an unpredictable thing, this. You also got a quick shock of something you don't normally see in real life, of a McLaren on the podium.
Yeah, and unlike real life, when the McLaren got on the podium, they actually got to stand on the podium with the other 2 drivers this time around. Everyone finishing as well. I'm sure the track, with all the walls missing, seems to have done that, but they did well to keep it held on the circuit once that rain started coming as well, although that maybe nullified a few battles, because I think a few of the drivers were being a bit more careful on those worn tyres. Yeah,
definitely. The rain's going to force them to look after their tyres more, because it's going to be difficult having worn tyres, especially in the rain, where if you get on the throttle just a millisecond too early, it could spin up the rears and sound you who knows where.
Yeah, well, thankfully everyone finished today, but the happiest 2 drivers will be Ivar Hanen and Astronauti. A 1-2 for the Mercedes team, 2 wins out of 2 for Ivar Hanen. Can anyone stop him making it 3 out of 3 next time around at Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix? So right now you have got the Precision tier. I think they're just coming towards an end of their qualifying session, and you'll have Pinnacle tier later on. So thank you to Liam for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Luke. Well, I was unlucky not to be here last week, but it's good to be here this week. It's good to be back for the podium tier because this is like a second home to me. Whether it's racing or commentating, it's just the podium tier. It's always been for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you'll be back at your home next week, I'm sure. So thank you to Liam, thank you to all the drivers, thank you all to you guys at home for watching as well. Apologies for the stream interruption during the first pit stop phase, but I think we managed to get most of the action in the end. Thank you to our sponsors as well, Next Level Racing. Make sure to check them out in the description below. For the pair of us, we will see you next time. Remember guys, stay home, stay safe, good night.